What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And today started out with the CPI data, and the data came in kind of confusing in the fact that it was high, but it didn't crush it like people thought it was going to. A lot of people thought it was going to come in at 5%. It came in at 4%. It did come in 1% higher than estimates in previous week. But being said, inflation again, it's a real thing. Tapering is a big thing. And then we had the FOMC meeting minute notes that came out at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and there it essentially addressed the tapering that it was going to happen either in November or December. Again, lining up with the meeting. I believe the meeting is scheduled for the 15th of November now. I think it was in the beginning part of November, and then it got pushed to the 15th, I believe. And then also, again, we have the debt ceiling stuff that is due on the 3rd, but I do believe the House passed part of the bill for the debt ceiling as well. So that's getting moved on. So stuff is starting to look good for the meantime. Yes, you still have Evergrande and all that stuff. I don't think any of that stuff really matters. We're getting a lot of the junk out of the way. We have earnings going on. We had JPM this morning. So I think the forward guidance on JPM was a little weak in the fact saying that with the tapering everything that it's not going to produce the numbers that is going on currently right now. But with that being said, I think we'll have to see. We still got a lot of banks. We got Wells Fargo in the morning. What else do we got? We got Wells Fargo. We got Bank of America in the morning, Citibank. We got Domino's in the morning, which I think is going to be important. We got Morgan Stanley in the morning. Then after close tomorrow, we got Del Taco. And then on Friday, we have Goldman Sachs, Charles Schwab, essentially the rest of the banks. Being said, things are looking good. The banks are looking good. Again, yes, everybody knew tapering was going to happen. That was all the information was already out there. They kind of just alluded to how much they're going to be actually tapering. So being said, there's no new news but the market was really waiting to see what happened from this point. And with that being said, we tried to break out actually multiple times. We actually tried to sell off today a couple different times, but that didn't happen. I kind of figured we would hang around this area. One thing I didn't like is it broke the wedge, did retest and sell off, but then bought quickly. We are starting to push up overnight a little bit here. You look at the actual SPY here, and we are starting to push up a little bit here towards back over the 200, which is great to see on the hourly. But we still have a lot of work to do. We still have a lot of resistance up above. But we have a lot of great earnings coming next week, which is fantastic. You got Netflix, which is being essentially propelled by the gaming side of the house, and that new Netflix TV show that is out right now. But with that being said, is it going to be enough to get us back over? And I think it will. I think tonight we could actually possibly gap up. I think we were waiting. That was a piece of information we were waiting for, is to get more hard dates on when stuff with the tapering and stuff, which we don't have hard dates, but at least we have a month period. So it's probably looking like towards the end of November, early December is the taper. Again, we're just stopping the covering of the assets, purchasing of assets, but there's still a lot more to go. Again, there's still a lot of unknowns, and I think that's where we're at. And yes, a lot of stuff, even the CPI data today, it was kind of showing that it is kind of transitory in the fact that it's shifting out of used cars and everything else, and now it's starting to hit other particular arenas. I know meats and I think it was peanut butter or something like that had gone up dramatically. But again, used cars and travel has gone down. And so you're kind of seeing that rotation out. So it's definitely a supply thing. And then Biden also came out and said he wanted the ports to be 24/7, as they are typically not open 24/7. The U.S. ports are not open around the clock. So to essentially ease the shipment issues, they're making the ports 24/7. So that would help try to speed things up and see if it is really transitory at that point. Once supply starts coming in, I want to see if that's going to really affect the market and allow us to start really moving. And if it is transitory, then inflation won't stick. But we have to see it, right? We have to see if it's deflation or what is actually going to happen from that point. So there's still a lot of unknowns, and it's going to take time. But being said, the market is liking what's going on, I believe. Again, everything is 50-50, but I think the odds are very much towards the bulls at this point. Going into earnings, again, volatility, still a possibility, but I think now we're starting to hit that reaching point. Now it's more of just trying to break some resistances and then go from there. I want to see what happens ultimately with a digestion of the report tonight, and then we'll see how the market truly likes that. Tesla is definitely whipsawing really bad. Earnings next week on Wednesday, so we'll see what this goes. I mean, I think it's might just slowly grind up until earnings, or possibly even start jetting towards the end of the week. Maybe it gaps up tonight and then just starts running. It could be a very strong possibility. Apple struggling to get back up. Actually, this is a good sign. Apple had that news about essentially dropping its production numbers. So that being said, I mean, it bounced back pretty solidly today. We didn't have any major sell-off on Apple, so that was a very good sign. Google trying to recover off of that news with the ads and adjustment of the ads. Facebook had that same drop, but they both recovered very well. It looks like it's starting to turn. As you can see on Facebook looks like it's starting to turn. Those are the two big ones I want to try to look at tomorrow. If they do start turning, because they destroyed earnings, and it's not going to be any different, I think, this time around. So I do believe this is going to be one of the best earnings again coming in. So being said, I want to keep an eye on Facebook. I want to keep an eye on Facebook and Google and see if this actually starts turning, because I think once Facebook starts turning, it's going to start really ripping fast. Square slowly grinding up. Again, their earnings are towards the end of the month. I'm trying to think when exactly their earnings are. Square is on the 4th of November, so it's got a little bit of time, but I wouldn't actually be surprised if this does start grinding up a little bit faster with everything else going. Again, it's been held back just like everything else. Roblox, I did swing this overnight. I did get out of it when I hit 75 because I wasn't really sure about the market. I wanted the market to digest what was going on with the inflation, FOMC numbers and the CPI data, and kind of see if we are good and then clear and start running. Then I'll look about possibly getting in. But I essentially just swung this overnight and got out again about midday. Snap, I do really like Snap. Again, I think it's all just a matter of time before they start turning. A lot of these on the daily. Could be even a breakout here, to be honest, on Snap. It could be a retest. This might actually rip tomorrow. So this is actually a great setup. I want to see how this does tomorrow. We get the retest. A lot of stuff is looking like this. Breakouts are looking to come back. Palantir is kind of a disappointment. It hits these levels, and a lot of times it just does a lot of congestion before it actually starts running. UPST, this one has been running, especially with data and everything, this automated loans, really crushing it. Looking for a pullback on this again. I didn't play this today or yesterday. I was actually watching it, and I did play it yesterday, actually, matter of fact. I did not play it today. I was actually played Affirm today. Affirm, I did catch this out the gate this morning. This was my first play today. And then I did try to get back into it, and then I just scalped it briefly up here on the top, and then I just waited because it was essentially going sideways. Going into the meeting minutes, I didn't want to hold anything. Amazon looks really good on the daily. It looks, we still have a lot of resistance here to break through. So that's something to keep in mind. I'd prefer this. We might get some good days where it actually runs hard and breaks through some of the stuff. It's something we definitely want to see. It might actually wait till closer till earnings before this really starts to break. We have to watch that one. Shop looks like it is ready to rock. Looks like we have a break here on the daily. I want to see where this ends up tomorrow, but if we get back over the 20 tomorrow, which looks like it's doing, as long as this hold this 1400 mark tomorrow, I'll essentially just be buying the dip and holding it into earnings. I do really like shop for earnings. I've played this multiple times. I swung it the other day on that pump, on this pump here, and then I grabbed it today here on the dip, and I played it again on the push up. I didn't want to swing it again because I wanted to see what the market was doing, but I'll look at it again tomorrow. SE had a monster day. Out of all the stocks I had it on the watch list this morning, but I don't know what it was. I was distracted with the firm, and SE really took off, but it did look like it was prepared to run on the daily, actually, I believe as well too. Looks like we were wedging and broke, so we could look for another pullback on SC tomorrow and see where that goes. Net, this thing is unstoppable, though it is getting really high at this point. I think I'd kind of wait for a pullback as opposed to try to get anything. Etsy looks like a break and a retest. This could be a good possible play tomorrow as well. I do really like Etsy. TTD, again, wedge break, look for a retest around the 72 mark for entry, and then possibly another ride up to 88 and go into earnings for that one as well. BA kind of disappointed. It looked like it was going to run and then just died. So I don't like playing BA very much. NVIDIA definitely needs to break this 212 mark. It is really struggling. I do really like NVIDIA, but ever since the stock split and everything that's going on, it's been kind of a lot of shortages and everything else. It's been definitely struggling. AMD, I do really like. I had a monster day as well. Looking for a retest tomorrow, possibly around that 106 mark. Look for an entry there. Essentially the 106 mark. If we could tag that to do a retest and then run, that'd be great for AMD. MU is just still getting destroyed. Airbnb, nice break. I don't really like this because it runs essentially half the day and then just dies off. So, but we could get a retest hopefully around this 196 or 169 mark. Possible entry for continuation for this one. Space, still just chopping along. Definitely want this back over the 20. If it starts getting back over the 20, could gain a position at that point and then let it start working its way up. Now, I do like now. It looks like we're getting a break. See if we can get a back of a retest of the 20 at that 634 mark, essentially. If it does retest that and holds, definitely good for entry back to all-time highs. So you're looking at a pretty big point difference there to capture if it is a retest tomorrow on the daily. This is another one to watch. Overstock, I've been watching this. I want to see if this holds here and then breaks out of this. Do like overstock, especially if the market's starting to run. Bitcoin, going back, Bitcoin is starting to break back out. I want to actually see if we have if we break out of this ceiling here, essentially that's 58,200 mark. If we can break that overnight and hit 60, I'm looking for overstock and for coin. I do have a position in coin, which I took today because I really like this consolidation in the break here. I did mention this on Twitter. I do really like this, and if Bitcoin does break up and hit 60K, could accelerate it from that point, and I'm looking for a bigger move overnight for coin. Moderna, I did play this, swung this overnight. Had a nice push up today. I did actually get out of this position, again, waiting to see digestion. If it does hold, I'll actually wait on Moderna. I like to grab the bottom, but aside from that, I don't like to keep popping back in. But this could actually have a huge day because the first day you have that nice little pump. The second day is even a bigger pump. So Moderna could be definitely one to watch tomorrow. Revolve, still pretty high. Still very playable. If it continues to come back down and hits that 65 mark. It could bounce back and forth between that and 72. That's something you could watch. AMC, I think, could be big. It did have a wedge break. Had a couple different wedge breaks, but if it can break this 200 to that 38 mark, could possibly start pushing higher. You do have some other overhead resistance, but again, once it catches momentum, it can definitely go. BYND, looks like we're starting to try to actually break. It actually came out, the McPlant burger from McDonald's, I believe, is out, and they were it was a launch today in the UK, so it didn't really do much today, but I wouldn't be surprised once it starts catching. So once it starts getting its legs, it definitely starts running for sure. CMG, again, tomorrow with Domino's. If Domino's does well, definitely keep your eye on CMG. It might actually start pumping from that point if Domino's does do well. So it might get that, it might get a little help from Domino's. So it'll be something I would really like to watch. Clove is something I'm holding now still, holding for a longer position. I think it still looks good on the daily. Looking to trying to continue this nice move up. It looks like a bull flag. I think it's just waiting for the rest of the market. DraftKings looking good. Still a lot of consolidation here, which I really do like. Probably actually try to get another position in this. I'm trying to watch the laggers with everything going on. But if tech starts running, I definitely try to jump into FANG. Cars, another good one to kind of watch. It's really been having some crazy moves just because of inflation and everything. Reading, Avis, car rentals has just been like through the roof. So and they got earnings coming up on the 11th. So this, I wouldn't be surprised if this actually continues to run like crazy until that point. With the inflation stuff, though, it has kind of been pulling back, especially since the numbers are coming down on used cars a little bit. So that may affect the direction of that one. Again, Domino's tomorrow morning. See where this ends up tomorrow. Keep it on watch. If it does, again, start to break out, could get some good momentum on that one. And that's pretty much what I got. We don't really have too much tomorrow as far as the market. Yes, we have data and everything else. We got China's CPI, but that's after hours tomorrow night. We have a bunch of Feds talking tomorrow. Initial job claims. I don't think any of that stuff really matters right now. I think the major stuff, the core CPI data, inflation stuff is something everybody was worried about. I think now from this point, everybody kind of got a gauge of where stuff is at. So I think we're okay. Again, stuff always, whenever you're talking about inflation, it's still OPEC too, right? So you still got option expiration. There's still volatility in the market, so something you just have to be mindful of. But this video is getting pretty long, so I'm gonna go let you guys go manage risk, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, later.